Ayo Luckies, it's your host Carter Loesch, and the first 5 minutes of this episode is actually AI. It's this really cool program called Notebook LM, and what they do is they take all of the things being spoken in the world of my podcast that I did with Austin Smith, Stio, and it highlights it into its own podcast. And I thought that this was really cool as AI is growing, as AI is evolving, that you guys would all enjoy. And it gives you really good highlights of the episode, and it highlights Austin as my friend, as a business guy, as a football coach, as a DJ. So enjoy this and check out this area of a new way of podcasting. So as always, keep living the luck management lifestyle. Peace.
Ever just stumble on a YouTube video thinking you're in for some chill music, and then bam, you're totally sucked into the DJ's life story?
I know the feeling.
Well, that's what this interview with Austin Smith, DJ SDIO, from the Luck Management channel was like.
Oh yeah, I checked that one out. The guy's got like a million things going on at once. Boeing employee, football coach, and killing it as a DJ. Talk about multi-hyphenate life goals.
Right. And it's not like he's just dabbling either. This dude's blowing up in Charleston's EDM scene, which, let's be real, is no joke to break into.
Definitely not a walk in the park.
But here's the thing that got me. In 4 years, he went from mixing in his bedroom to scoring primetime at Trio.
Trio? No way. That's the spot for EDM in Charleston, though it's more known for its techno right now.
Exactly. So for him to carve out his own space there, that's saying something.
Major talent and hustle for sure.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of hustle, get this. He sends Trio's head DJ a mix, right?
Yeah, standard procedure when you're trying to get noticed.
Right, but it gets better. They ask for a 30-minute mix, tops. This man sends a 55-minute epic.
Whoa, that's bold. Gotta admire the confidence. But did it pay off? I mean, that's a lot to ask someone to listen to.
Oh, it totally paid off. That's how he landed the gig.
See? Taking risks. I like it.
And it kind of speaks to his whole approach. Not just checking the boxes, but really showcasing who he is. And speaking of, his style's super interesting. He's all about that open format vibe, blending hip-hop, pop, house, all that with the EDM.
So not afraid to mix it up. Makes sense. He's not limiting himself to just one lane in life either.
Exactly. And I think that's why he's so successful. He's reading the room, adapting, creating an experience, not just pressing play on a playlist. Which makes you wonder, how does he even have time to coach with this crazy schedule? So we've got this Boeing engineer by day, electrifying crowds as DJ SDIO by night. But wait, there's more. Dude's also coaching high school football.
Seriously, how does he even find the hours?
Right. And not just any team. He's giving back at his old stomping grounds, Bishop England High School.
That's awesome. Gotta give him props for that. Shows real dedication.
Totally. And, high school coaching's a whole different ballgame these days, literally. It's not your grandpa's football practice anymore, with those crazy drills and all.
Yeah, thankfully things have changed. They've got safety precautions now, heat protocols, the whole 9 yards, which is so important.
For real. But even with those changes, there's still a ton of pressure on these young athletes. Yeah. Especially with social media constantly in their face.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure to perform, to be Insta-worthy all the time, it's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone teenagers.
No kidding. And it made me think of this one story from the interview. Austin has this thing, right, a superstition, where he has to stay in the coach's box for good luck, even though he's dying to be down on the field firing up his team.
Oh, wow. Talk about dedication. I mean, that little detail speaks volumes. It shows just how deeply he cares about those kids and their success.
Right. He could easily just be focusing on his DJ career or climbing the ladder at Boeing. But instead, he chooses to invest his time and energy in these kids. That says a lot.
It really does. And it highlights the power of mentorship, It's one thing to achieve your own dreams, but to then turn around and guide the next generation, that's huge.
Okay, so we've got the engineer, the DJ, the coach. Yeah. But there's always more to the story, right? And this interview, it actually gave us a glimpse into Austin's future, his goals. And let me tell you, this dude's got big plans.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, For starters, he's getting married.
Congrats to him. That's awesome.
Right. And get this, the wedding's going to be under those iconic mossy oak trees in Charleston. Can you imagine? Talk about magical.
Oh, stop. That sounds incredible.
I know, right? But okay, back to these ambitions.
Yeah.
So he's got the wedding, he's thinking about getting his MBA, he wants to start his own business, and maybe even like organize a music festival one day. I mean, come on.
Whoa. That's a lot, even for someone with his energy. It's inspiring, though,
Yeah.
That drive to keep pushing, keep growing, keep aiming higher.
Totally. And it really speaks to this whole shift we're seeing. People, especially younger generations, they aren't just satisfied with the traditional path anymore. They want to forge their own way, chase those passions,
Absolutely. The whole side hustle, gig economy thing, it's not just about climbing the corporate ladder anymore. It's about finding what fulfills you. And honestly, that's what's so captivating about Austin's story, right? He's not just talking about it, he's out there living it. He's proving you don't have to choose just one path. You can blend your passions, create multiple streams of income, build a life that's multidimensional.
100%. But it's not like he's just randomly saying yes to every opportunity that comes his way.
Yeah.
There's a purpose behind it all.
Yeah.
He's taking what he's good at, what excites him, and finding ways to connect those passions with, like, the needs of his community,
Totally. It's about intentionality, choosing things that align with his values and using his skills to make a difference. So where does that leave us? What can we learn from someone like Austin? Maybe it's about embracing that multi-hyphenate life, finding those passions, honing those skills. But more than that, it's about having the courage to actually go after them, even if it means a little chaos, a little less sleep, a few more things on the to-do list.
Right. Maybe it's not about finding perfect balance, but about saying yes to the things that light us up, even if it gets a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. That's our deep dive into the world of DJSTIO. Remember, no matter how unconventional your passions may seem, it's never too late to chase them. Until next time, keep exploring.
Heyo, welcome back to Luck Management. I'm your host, Carter Loesch, and this episode is always going to be brought to you by CharmND. And we are officially sponsored by the University of Notre Dame. That's right, we got Notre Dame on our side. We're minted, we're moving, we're grooving. It's awesome to see. It's a huge honor. Can't believe that the Idea Center wanted to invest and give some money to the cause for what we're doing here on Luck Management, speaking to so many different Notre Dame people, but also just learning about business, learning about life, learning about who we are as people. And this is the official 100th episode. I've been teasing it for a while, but it's going to be short, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be moving through some of the questions that I've done in podcasts throughout the years, and I have some podcast topics here and there, and I think it's going to be a fun discussion. And this is an episode where I am really thankful to be able to get to 100. It was really hard for me to get to 100 for a while. I felt like it was this weird plateau. And I even released 101 with Austin because I wanted to reserve this for myself, or Stio. And I'm happy to be here speaking with all of you, all the listeners, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for anyone that listens. I'm grateful for anyone that loves or sees Luck Management and gets a thing or two from it. It really means the world to me. So, first thing I want to say is that if you're listening to the episode and you send me a message that you listened to the episode, I will send you a Luck Management t-shirt. I have a bunch of them. I want to be able to share with my fans, say thank you for listening, thank you for being a part of the Luck Management lifestyle. And I think it could be awesome to see you walking around, whether that be Notre Dame, whether that be Charlotte, whether that be Texas, wherever you are. Check out the pod, wear the shirt, wear the gear, buy some CharmND. And I just have to say, if you guys can like, review, comment, subscribe on the podcast on Apple or Spotify, it helps so much. I mean, I don't get anything from it, but I like being able to see what people think. I like being able to understand a little bit more about what you want in the show, what guests I should have on. Oh, that's my laundry. And honestly, it gives me a better opportunity, and in its own way, it like motivates me. like, no lie, it's good for me too, because I can see who likes it, what's good about it. So if you could do that, that would be huge. I'll send you a t-shirt if you listen, if you love the show, if you hate the show, I'll take all the haters. I don't care. But the first thing I wanted to start off with were a few different topics that I had thoughts over the week. I'm always in my phone writing down these different notes, writing down these ideas of what's popping in my head, and just thought I'd share. And they're all over the place, so get ready. The first topic is Lorelai, of course, my dog. She's the best dog in the whole world. She's over there working on a bone, being as sweet as ever. She's an amazing dog. Being a dog owner has been fantastic, and I've had her for about 8 months now. It's wild. Being an owner, being a master to a dog, and like training it, and loving it, and teaching it, and growing with it. She is a true part of me. And it's amazing how we have these animals that become a part of us. And with that, it's always tough leaving your dog when you go. And I'm in an apartment, so there's not like, hey, you can go outside or go hang out outside. Yeah, that doesn't really happen too much. But leaving them is so hard because there's this weird aspect of dogs where somebody said this the other day. Dogs come with all the things that humans spend 70, 80 years trying to figure out. Loyalty, love, not being addicted to social media or getting into fights. No, they're just selfless dogs that just want to be with you and hang out with you and be a part of the motion. And so if you're a dog owner, shout out to you. If you're not and you're considering getting a dog or even just a pet, do it. It will make your life so much better. And of course, there's different areas where you have to deal with travel or uh, going to get medications and making sure that the dog's okay. But it is well worth it at the end of the day. I am so grateful to have my dog. Lolo for the win, Lorelai for the win. She's the official mascot of the Luck Management podcast. So she lives the Luck Management lifestyle for sure. She lives a good life. So shout out Lolo. Second thing is I had a buddy and his mother passed away. And I won't say his name right now just out of respect, but you know who you are. Love you, bro. And it comes down to the fact that you have nothing unless you have your health. And how many times are you going to go into the future and say, look back and say, man, I wish I was this age with this health and feeling good. And that's the craziest thing to me as I've been on this journey of quitting nicotine, as I've been on this journey of trying to be more healthy and working out, and even on the mental side of things, talking to people, understanding who I am as a person. Nothing else matters unless you have your health, because when you don't have it, that's all you can ask for. It doesn't matter if you have 10 million, $10 billion. It won't do anything. Yeah, maybe you'll get better doctors and push it off, but you're kind of stuck right there. So always, always know that your health is paramount. And I'm not super healthy. Do not take advice from me at the end of the day. I can be healthy, but I'm working on that every single day. And you gotta have your cheat days. Lord knows I'm eating my pizza. Lord knows I'm loving my pizza. But nothing else matters other than your health. The third topic is this idea of conspiracies. I've kind of gone around the circle of thinking about conspiracies, but I think that conspiracies are even made up to get you out of the normalcy of what's actually happening. Where, yeah, of course that's happening. Of course there's conspiracies so that, because it's the real truth. But also, what if they're just created to get you off of this idea that just things are the way that they are? And it takes you out of your normalcy of saying, oh, this is life, which is really hard. That's very hard to completely admit all the time, because whether you like it or not, the world can suck sometimes. The world can be really tough.
And it's all perspective, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for something and you're looking for some sort of what's happening here, it makes sense that these stories are created to kind of get you out of your realm. Why do we have Netflix shows? So that we can get out of the world. Conspiracy theories do the same thing. Of course, not always positive. And conspiracy, I think, is a negative connotation, but it's kind of weird. And with that conspiracy, no matter your political party, I'm going to create my own conspiracy right now. No matter your political party, no matter who you support for this upcoming election, I think that the same thing that happened with Joe Biden and running mate Kamala Harris moving in and taking over the charge is happening underway with Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, I've met J.D. Vance. I met him at Denison. He's the author of Hillbilly Elegy. He was in private equity. Really well-spoken man. But I have not seen a vice president do this many interviews unless they're going for president, aka Commie law, somebody told me. That it's the same sort of thing that's happening. And love or hate Trump, you can tell that he is at a point losing some of his steam. Interviews are getting weird. 4 more years of him, he is 78. He's going to be 82 by this ends. He's going to be really old. And so you have J.D. Vance, who's in his 30s, or I guess he's in his early 40s. But he's so well-spoken. He actually thinks about these things. He has a much bigger focus on America first, talking about manufacturing because that's his world, talking about the military and moving out of war and how our economy works together in this southern border being able to be protected. His policies, I think, are going to be heavily involved in this election. And if he gets elected with Trump, you're going to see a lot of stuff coming from him. And they are prepping him and they are moving him forward that after these 4 years, J.D. Vance will run for president. That is almost completely positive. They will have him on the ballot. Who knows if he'll win? I think he will if he's the vice president. But I do sincerely think that he is playing the same sort of stunts in the political world, in the political realm, in a world where Trump isn't a politician. He's gotten into the game. He's in the game now, so they're playing the game. And even though he controls the party a lot, it is all being worked, each side of each other. And then there's also that theory that they all know each other and they all know what they're doing and they're all not friends, but it's all part of the game. It's all part of the system. But maybe that's just conspiracy. Maybe we do have clashes. We all are different. We all have differing views. I am working on trying to get Chris Brown on the podcast. A good friend of mine, he's a Democrat, which I don't talk to a ton of Democrats, or I don't talk in the political world of things. I think it'd be an awesome discussion, being able to learn a little bit more about his viewpoints, my viewpoints, and how we think differently and critically. And not as a way of fighting it, but just saying, okay, where do the steps and the trails move to each other to make you feel like this is something that you believe in, and different economic policies. It's really cool to learn from people that you don't know or that aren't the same sort of background as you. And we are pretty much the same background. So that's why I wonder those sort of things, being more of a right-leaning on the economic sense of things. In the social side, I definitely lean towards more of a democratic acceptance, free libertarian view. So, very interesting. All right, the 5th topic I wanted to talk about was converting to energy and this whole push towards the electric cars and semiconductors being built here and nuclear power building. So I learned a lot through Elon Musk and his initiatives of what he's doing for the world of technology and building out how our country is going to operate for the future. And Teslas are awesome. I mean, they're really sick cars. It is an interesting world to see where all these cars are moving to leases and people aren't buying them as much, and what that does to buyer confidence and stuff like that. But at the same point, it is this new age where you have China and you have Saudi Arabia are moving off of oil prices from the US dollar to the Chinese yuan. So they're buying the oil and the reserves all in yuan. Where China, of course, they have electric and they have a lot of cool innovations there. But the United States is doing this so that they don't have that self reliance on having to buy oil through the yuan, the yen, yuan. And I think it's happening faster than we think. And instead of just saying, "Oh, why are we going electric? Like, stay fuel efficient," it it's an optimal move for the United States at the end of the day in pushing forward. I think it's a movement towards energy dependency as we're building more nuclear plants, as all these technology companies are moving in and building out technology. And then it's a lesser reliance on the world. I don't think oil is going to be gone for a very long time. I say we still got the rest of the century on oil. It will dissipate slower and slower. It is also fascinating to think about all the different jobs that are made and where some jobs are lost, but that's the world of innovation. That's the world of learning what works, where our powers are coming from, where we're seeing all these massive storms, where we're seeing all these different impacts on the world of climate change. And I'm afraid that we do have to change things. At the same time, I do worry about the energy and how much energy we're producing and what that's going to cause for our own right of climate in this world, too. I love being outside, but I do worry about the heat. I'm in Houston. It's so hot. It's so hot all the time. Like, this is insane. So, and I know I'm far south, but I'm just like, what about even further south? How are people feeling? How are people doing this? Doesn't seem to make sense to me. So I think that this energy play is something that is just pushing US businesses and pushing the US economy to not be as reliant, build out their own reserves, and stay a superpower. Oil will still be here. Oil will not leave us. Just think of, like, even if it leaves all the cars, think of all the lawnmowers, think of all the trucks and everything. It's going to be here for a long, long time. We'll see, though, how AI impacts that, because AI could have a vastly dominant force in determining how we build out these things and how much faster we learn from our mistakes and our knowledge transfer. Next topic. Open to work on LinkedIn. I think that's the stupidest thing in the whole world. Now, I've never posted that, but when I see that on LinkedIn, I see somebody with a normal position and then they have open to work on LinkedIn. That, even though it's a bad thing, maybe it's supposed to create like a pity sort of sense in this world, or to me, but I do not have pity. Is that a bad thing that I don't want to reach out to them and talk to them because they're open to work? And I'm in sales, so I gotta sell to somebody. If you're open to work, you're not open to helping that company grow. But I just find that crazy where people throw out this open to work sort of thing. I'd say you just continue to boost your resume and build out those connections. It seems like a feel bad for me sort of angle. And I think that can work. And I think that can be very beneficial for some people in building out your network. So maybe that creates more eyes on it. But I just would never post open to work. Let me know if anybody here is open to work. Like, give me a reason why you do open to work. And I'd love to learn a little bit more on why that's happening. I think it's pretty cool that there are opportunities out there and how recruiters were going to look at that. So I'd love to like learn a little bit more about the science behind it, what the job market is, because I currently have a job and I'm working very hard, and I'm very blessed to have this job as luck management, all the hard work I'm putting in every day. But I want to learn about what that market looks like. And I think more than ever, the connections and the people that you know is paramount. I don't think it was ever not paramount before, but I think that there were open jobs here and there. And it's creating a real sense of urgency. And everyone wants to talk about this economy and, oh, are we going to soft land? Things are tough right now. It does not matter if you have a job or not. Everything's more expensive. You tighten up because you don't know what the future holds. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the uncertainty factor of what is going to happen. Nobody really knows. And so we're going to learn a lot in the next month. But if you're open to work, let's talk about it. Do you get better stats when you post things? Is it more reflective of actually helping you? Does LinkedIn give you more benefits in that? Are they working on your behalf? I want to know that world. So if any of you are open to work, let's do a segment. Let's talk about it. All right. The next thing I got to talk about, a little Notre Dame based, and we'll get into a little bit of Notre Dame football, is Michael Mayer never actually loved football. I heard that through the grapevine. I was there when it was his last year at Notre Dame, and he was an All-American, absolute stud, star, could catch anything, beat through everyone. But I heard through the through the grapevine that he was a basketball fan. He didn't love football. It was a means to an end. And now we're seeing his production a little bit. Now we're seeing how he's playing, where he's honestly not playing. He's not getting reps. They literally the next year drafted Brock Bowers from Georgia, who's an absolutely phenomenal tight end. But he's become a nobody, which is really hard to see. And people can get angry at the Raiders organization and they can say, oh, he's not being treated right. This isn't cool. But it always takes two to tango. And I think that there's more to this story. So this isn't a hate on Michael Mayer because he's a phenomenal athlete. And he got his bag, he got a signing bonus, he got some good money. But there's something more to the story, or there's something happening. I hope he gets traded. I hope he moves to a guy or an organization with a guy that can throw him the ball often, because he was a stud for Notre Dame with bad quarterbacks. The NFL is a different animal for sure, and he's a really smart guy, and he'll be fine in whatever he does in his life. But I'd love to see if more rumblings come out about that, because he can produce. It's just, does he want to produce? On the flip side, Notre Dame's producing right now, 5-1 right now. Last time I was here talking about Notre Dame football, we had just lost to Northern Illinois, and I was down in the dubs. And I get mad at so many people because after every game, mostly in football, it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. We win, everything's good. We lose, everything's horrible. But with Notre Dame, since I know their team so well and I know how they operate, I've really seen some amazing things coming out of Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love. Our wide receiving core is starting to hit on all cylinders. The injuries have hurt, though. Benjamin Morrison out with a hip injury for the rest of the year. Successful surgery. Thank you. Benjamin, thank you for your work. I was there during your freshman year. You were a beast against Clemson, against USC, locking down people like you wouldn't imagine. So I just say thank you. But I mean, you had Botello out. You have a multitude of guys that are just. We have Jensen, our O line. We have two guys that are out there, and we're still young. We're still so young. And Freeman is pushing back and forth. He's working really hard on trying to make sure that our organization is moving in the right direction. And we are. We have great recruits. We have next man up attitude. And 5-1 going into Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is going to be a big game playing against the Yellow Jackets that are 5-2. So they're balling right now. They're playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, which I'm so mad I was supposed to go to that game. Shout out Eckhouse. I wish I was there, bro. I love you, man. I'll make it out to the next one. Wild to see. Gonna be an electric atmosphere. And they're a 10-point favorite, I think, right now. I believe in the boys. I would bet the house on the Irish on this. They're moving in a direction that is undeniable. Undefeated for the rest of the season. I'm telling you. I thought we would be undefeated this year, but you have to have a mistake to kind of see what you could lose potentially. And there's no way, being ranked 12 right now, and we keep winning, that we're not making the playoff and we're not getting a home game. There is absolutely no way that doesn't happen. And we're going to do it. And it's going to be the coolest experience for Notre Dame football in a long, long time. Even though we've made the college football playoff 2 times in the last 10 years, even though we made the national championship in 2012, this team is different. There's something different. There's something brewing. There's something cooking here. And I'm really, really excited about it. So you should be excited as well. Even if you're not a Notre Dame fan, you listen to this podcast, you've heard enough about Notre Dame at the end of the day. So you know the inner workings of the organization. You know my luck management lifestyle philosophy with the team. They're hitting on all cylinders. Jeremiah Love for Heisman, Riley Leonard, bounce back, comeback player of the year. I think that his reasoning there was he didn't play in spring ball. So he's just getting into full season form now. And that's when we want him kicking. We need to make sure he stays healthy. We need to make sure the rest of the guys stay healthy. Keep grinding, keep pounding. Oh, shout out Panthers. And they're going to be all right. They're going to be just fine. Second to last topic, and it's coming up on time, so I'll probably just cut this off. I won't get into my official questions here. Save that for the next episode. But Subway Series potential. Yankees up 2-1 against the Guardians. They gave up a tough one. And the Mets down 2-1 against the Dodgers. They can come back. Yankees can come back. I think it would be so awesome to see a Subway Series. Of course, a New York, LA sort of matchup will be awesome. I wouldn't love a LA, Cleveland, but I am excited for playoff baseball. I never watch baseball during the regular season, but playoff baseball is electric. There's just something in the air as it gets cooler, as the boys are playing hard, as guys step up, as guys falter. Okay, Aaron Judge. It's awesome baseball. It's where you see legends made. And so if you haven't watched any of the playoffs, let me know who you want. Let me know who you're thinking about. And yeah. And then the last one is work and skills management. So this is a little shameless plug. I'm working for Kahuna. We're a skills management platform. We do the operational skills behind your workforce. So if you're a manufacturer, if you're an energy company, or you're a healthcare provider, what we do is we help you track and validate the skills of your workforce. So a lot of these different systems and a lot of these different companies run so lean. And they have their HR systems like their ADPs and Workdays, which logs their core information. And then you have your learning management systems where you have your training modules and you have skill matrices. What Kahuna does is that it pulls it all and puts it into one central location. And we utilize all that data to create skills data for your business. And I've just really enjoyed being here for the last 10 or 11, coming up on 11 months now, of how we are impacting the industry. We're in the largest energy companies in the world, from Exxon, ConocoPhillips, Phillips 66, to the world of manufacturing, Stanley Black and Decker, and the medical device world. We're growing a lot in the automotive industry. We're growing a lot in the world of healthcare as well. Healthcare is actually our biggest division. So in hospitals, nurses need our things to move to different divisions. It's really, really awesome. So if you want to talk more about skills management and the type of software that I'm selling, it's been really, really cool being able to talk to amazing, wonderful people. And the last thing is this episode, like I always say, is brought to you by Charm ND. Get your Charm ND. If you want to wear Notre Dame, if you want to have a piece of Notre Dame, it's a business that even before the sponsorship from Notre Dame, it helped me kind of figure out the world of paying for episodes, getting people on, building out my repertoire of podcasting. I love doing it. I love sharing necklaces, earrings, bracelets. It's a little bit more swag than just all these logos that you see. You can tell I love Notre Dame and I care about it and I want people to share and enjoy Notre Dame as much as I do. So, love the Notre Dame Lucky Charms. That's Charm ND. But you can find us on Apple, Spotify, like us on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. It helps. It helps so much. And thank you always for living the luck management lifestyle. Peace.
Ayo, this episode of Luck Management is brought to you by Charm ND. Love the Notre Dame Lucky Charms. I love Notre Dame, and when I went to school there, I wanted to have a way of holding a piece of Notre Dame in your hand. And the first iteration came from small little tubes and filling up with pieces from around Notre Dame, and it's evolved into a really cool and wonderful business that I truly cherish. And now we have necklaces, we have keychains, we have earrings, and we have bracelets. All of these pieces are from Notre Dame. So in our keychains, we have soil from Notre Dame's campus with 24 karat gold flakes. We have AstroTurf from the Notre Dame football stadium and wood shavings from the old seats of Notre Dame Stadium, a true classic of history and tradition of the Notre Dame football way. We also have gold helmets that are painted with the same gold that they use on the Notre Dame football helmets and from the Golden Dome, straight gold from the Golden Dome. All these pieces are so incredible to me, and I hope that you all enjoy them. And you can find me on charm_ND on Instagram, or you can go to our Etsy shop, which is Charm ND Store on Etsy. So please give it a check out and love the Charm ND.